Qualities of a great leader. I have had the good fortune to work with and know closely some of the best leaders of BFSI industry and learn various things from outstanding leaders to derive my learnings. So I thought to put across my perspective of a great leader here. I believe in implementing a few things as a leader. Some of them are extremely basic and some are macro, but a combination of all are required to be an effective leader. Let me take you through my views on leadership. It is very important for any leader or a CXO to remember that leaders are the mirrors that reflect the culture and value system. And for anything to become permanent, it must be reflected often. To me, leadership is different. It calls for keeping a watchful eye on the business and making sure everyone understands what must get done. One should have the capability to create a sense of urgency about that. Foresight is one of the key elements as a leader should possess. Leaders should have the ability to see around corners, that is, to recognize well in advance what has to be done for the good of the business, so that the company is always leading the industry rather than trying to catch up. Another characteristic is ability and passion for problem solving. Leader needs a passion for problem solving. You have to be able to figure out quickly which problems require your attention and which don't, and then focus relentlessly on getting the big ones solved. It helps to be sort of a person who feels acutely unhappy until a problem is fixed. Then, ego management. A leader has to be able to put the company ahead of his or her ego gratification. It is not necessary that an entire organization behaves and responds as per your strategy. One needs to have patience and perseverance to get things on track. You need to be willing to do what's best for the company at any given moment, which may include staying out of the spotlight and putting company's interest ahead of everything else, coupling with taking all stakeholders along. Another very important characteristic which I believe is a leader needs to be financially savvy. A leader must be financially literate in a way that goes beyond accounting. As a leader, you need to be able to use the numbers, not just to understand what has happened, but to help you spot trends, identify problems, and head off trouble before it hits you. Ultimately, irrespective of the industry, any business is all about numbers with a goal of better finances. Then, ability to inspire. Teams are generally inspired by leaders who have an authentic vision, leaders that stand for something. The best leaders are mission driven and have a strong opinion and conviction. They believe in something and they must find something in their teams to believe in as well. Leaders inspire by setting the best examples. Great leaders always will have the ability to inspire. Employees feel resentful when they're asked to do things they believe their superiors would not or could not do. So walk the talk. This goes not just for work tasks but also for attitude. If you would like to cultivate a more cheerful attitude in the workplace, start by being more cheerful yourself. Inspiration is drawn with every single act of a leader. Then empowerment. Great leaders are never insecure. One should believe in his or her team, trust them, empower them, and lead them by giving directional management rather than being micromanagement. Micromanagement, more or less, will always be counterproductive, which is more often than not. Then care for people and recognition. Great leaders always care for their people, for their team. They ask questions and listen to answers. They give constructive feedback. They treat recognition with paramount importance. They ask their teams, how can I make you successful? They have the ability to build and support teams. When you care for people and recognize them well enough, you have definitely arrived as a leader. To sum it up, a great leader or a CXO is a very critical position to be in, which is hard to reach and harder to retain. Leaders should be able to have the ability of forward thinking and preparedness for future. He should be able to take calculated risk, but not careless risk. He should be biased towards execution, but should not be too impulsive. Should have the ability and knack to pursue newer and greener opportunities, but with a detailed analysis to back up his decision. Should be perseverant in getting things done from his team, but ensure being not insensitive. Should be a great reader of people who seeks to understand different perspectives, but does not overanalyze. Should be pragmatically inclusive in involving others in decision making, but also have the ability to be an independent decision maker. should be able to deal with a variety of people but not too trusting, should care for emotions but with a level-headed control. To me, leadership is a learning process, and I value and respect the position because I understand with great power comes great responsibility. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please do contact me. I'll be happy to hear from you. Wish you great luck.